The first part of the NREMT exam, you have to understand the content of the exam. You have to understand the content of what you're being asked on the questions. That's how you pass. So there's 5 main sections right here to every single national registry exam. First, we have airway, respiration, and ventilation. We have cardiology and recess, trauma, medical OBGYN, and EMS ops. Quick tip, EMS ops is the smallest portion on every exam and is broken up 85% adult questions, 15% pediatrics on every single exam. So there's your breakdown. Now we know what to study. We can go from there. Something I see a lot with students is they rush their studying or they're rushing when they take questions on the exam, and that leads to them failing the NREMT. So you need to have a study plan. Number 1, we gotta have an exact study plan. Take your time when you're taking the test. I have never had one single student run out of time taking NREMT, not one. So that means you have plenty of time to take the exam. So please remember that. Number 2, I understand that if you failed NREMT, within 14, 15 days, you can take another attempt. But if you're coming off a failed attempt especially, take an extra week or 2, double your study time. Do not just rush back in. So do not rush. Number 3 is seeing students taking way too many practice tests. So they're taking practice questions from one app and another app, and they're taking 50, 60, 70, 40, 100 questions every day. They're not studying. Remember those content areas? They're not studying in content areas. Remember this, my friends. When you take a practice test or quiz or assessment, that's what you're doing. You are only assessing the knowledge that you have. And if you do not have all the knowledge that you need to pass the National Registry exam, you're not studying any content, and all you're doing is taking a bunch of practice question apps, then you're not going to get any smarter or more knowledgeable, and you'll continue to get a cycle of failure. So how do we combat that? First, we have a study plan that's based around studying the 5 areas of National Registry. And then once we've studied that and we know it cold and we understand the content, then we assess ourselves with quizzes that back up that content. That's how we do it. Number 4 is the way that you're studying. You're either not showing up to your study sessions, not studying enough, or honestly, a lot of students do not know how to study properly. So I can give you what works for me and a lot of my students, and I hope it works for you. So number 1 is something called alpha waves. These are brain waves you can put, like you play on your phone or computer, in the background while you are studying. It will help you to concentrate. And obviously a lot of people will use, coffee, caffeine to concentrate too. Obviously we know about that, but alpha waves works really well and I use them personally myself. And a lot of my students, even with ADHD, have benefited from that. Next is the time. So if you're gonna sit there for 2 hours straight and not take a break, you're gonna just have a hurt brain and you're not gonna absorb anything. So what do I do? What my students do? 15, 20 minutes, study, take a 5-10 minute break, and keep going over that cycle until you've completed your study session for that day. Or if you, let's say you only have an hour, break it up. You got through your hour, great, move on, right? There's no amount of, you need to study 3 hours a day. No, you need to complete the study plan that you are working on. And if you've done that, you're ready to test. Also, repetition is key, especially when you uncover a weakness that you're struggling with. Repetition, and make sure you are using one resource and stick with it. I can't tell you how many students, they're using 4 or 5 different resources to study. You need to pick one resource, go all in on it, hyper focus on it, complete it. And then it will tell you you're ready to take the exam. Go in there and take it and pass the exam. That's how you do that. You need to study the content first, then assess yourself afterwards, once you know the content cold. You then need to have a proven study plan and craft your study sessions that we talked about in this video. Put that all together, you're ready and you're gonna pass the NREMT exam. What I give to my students to get ready for NREMT at every level is the first link in the description down below. It is called my Video Vault, plus access to our entire community group to network, bounce questions, bounce ideas off us inside of the community group. This is what I give to all of my students that have passed NREMT. It's the first link in the description. I look forward to all of your success, and I will catch you in the next video. Let's go.